This is Jerry FM.
Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back after these brief words from our sponsors.
Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Bass Plaque Maker.
Mr. Bass Plaque Maker.
Only a true artist like yourself can turn 5 pounds of dead fish into a work of art.
No fish can smell now.
In your capable hands, we know that our trout will never look trashy. Our crappie, never crappy.
Never crappy.
Thanks to you, we can say, I caught this bass. What have you ever done?
Tell me now.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Mr. Bass Plaque Maker. Because while a trophy wife may grow old and wrinkled, a trophy bass can now remain forever young.
Forever young, forever.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Bowling Shoe Giver-Outer.
Mr. Bowling Shoe Giver-Outer.
Your tireless efforts keep our feet comfy and sanitized with mountain freshness.
Mountain freshness.
Instinctively, you match left shoe with right, carefully placing each pair in its own tiny shoe house.
Check the number on the back.
One wrong move, and we're on the fast train to Blisterville.
Oh, yeah.
Is he a 9.5 or a 10?
Yeah.
You know. Why? Because you're Mr. Bowling Shoe Giver-Outer.
We couldn't bowl without you.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, mister, and know it's no accident those shoes are red, white, and blue.
No, we couldn't bowl without
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Bumper Sticker Writer.
Mr. Bumper Sticker Writer.
Never has one man written so much for so many. Without you, the world may never have known you can't hug with nuclear arms.
I need a hug now.
And just like you, I too would rather be fishing, or square dancing, or even shopping.
Oh, yeah.
I owe, so off to work I go. You said it, brother.
You speak the truth.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, oh bar to the bumper. Thanks to you, I know it's perfectly all right to honk if I'm horny.
Honk, honk, beep, beep, honk.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Ceremonial First Pitch Thrower-Outer.
Mr. Ceremonial First Pitch Thrower-Outer.
Dressed in slacks, button-down shirt, and ball cap, you take to the mound, announcing to everyone in attendance, I am fully prepared to make a complete fool of myself.
You're on TV.
Over the backstop, halfway to the plate, into the back of the umpire's head. Who knows where your throw will land?
It hit me in the groin.
Your fastball was clocked at a breathtaking 8.5 miles an hour.
That's almost 10.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, oh friar of the fireball. Watching you will always be our favorite pastime.
Mr. Ceremonial First Pitch Thrower-Outer.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Chinese food delivery guy.
Mr. Chinese food delivery guy.
Without you, we'd be forced to do the unthinkable when we wanted Chinese food. Drive to a restaurant. But you, sir, bring it to us in under 20.
Ride like the wind.
Armed with your rickety bike, you battle traffic, bad weather, and the occasional busted elevator. And why do you do it? Because somewhere a guy is waiting for his Kung Pao crab puffs, and he's got $1.57 with your name on it.
That's 10%.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, oh mercenary of the Mandarin chicken, and know that when America is looking for a man to get the job done, you do deliver. You deliver. Bud Light beer as a St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Driving Range Ball Picker-Upper.
Mr. Driving Range Ball Picker-Upper.
For our pure enjoyment, you bravely throw yourself directly in the path of adversity, and you do it on a tractor.
Riding high.
Oh, the rules call for friendly fire, but you know we're all gunning for you.
Gunning for you.
Let her rip, you say, because someone's gonna hit a little dribbler, and they're gonna try and chase it down. And when they do, you'll be there.
You'll be there.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, range guy, because in this world of namby-pambies, you're the one with all the
Mr.
balls.
Driving Range Ball Picker-Upper.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Fake Tattoo Inventor.
Mr. Fake Tattoo Inventor.
Through the miracle of hypoallergenic adhesives, you transform us from mild-mannered accountant into roadhouse biker hooligan.
Hooligan.
Be it screaming skull or thrashing tiger, you've got a temporary alter ego for any occasion.
Flaming dragons.
What else says, I love you, Mom, like a heart with a sword through it?
You know I love you, mama.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, Mr. Fake Tattoo Inventor guy. We may not have been born to ride, but thanks to you, we can feel like it.
Thank you, Mr. Fake Tattoo Inventor.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Footlong Hot Dog Inventor.
Mr. Footlong Hot Dog Inventor.
When conventional wisdom said no one could make a hot dog longer than 6 inches, you dared to dream.
Dared to dream.
You knew the limitations of a regular-size hot dog bun, and you ignored them.
Can't stop me now.
You made a 10-inch wiener, and people cheered.
Oh.
But you weren't satisfied. You said, wait, I think I can still give you 2 more inches.
Gotta want it.
And so the footlong was born. So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, Mr. Hot Dog Hero, because you gave every single one of us our fondest wish, a bigger wiener.
Thank you, thank you, thank
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Furniture Assembly Manual Writer.
Mr. Furniture Assembly Manual Writer.
Thanks to you, people everywhere can simply purchase furniture, drive it home, open a box, and go completely insane.
Driving me crazy.
Knowing we can't read Chinese, Dutch, or German, you thoughtfully include pictures. Pictures that look nothing like the item purchased.
No Spreaker in Dutch now.
Insert piece A into slot B, peg C into hole D, then curse, cry, and smash with hammer.
I know.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, oh maestro of the manual. You make it so simple, a monkey could do it. A rocket scientist monkey.
That's one smart monkey.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Garden Gnome Maker.
Mr. Garden Gnome Maker.
Anyone can dress up a yard with a shrub or some gladiolas, but it takes real guts to use a small, brightly colored ceramic man.
You're the man.
And what says, welcome to our home, like a dwarf in the hedges?
Standing tall.
Many a night you've slaved over a hot ceramic man-maker, knowing somewhere there was a lonely pink flamingo or a cement frog who needed a buddy.
Oh,
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, oh master of miniatures. Because as all Americans know, a home isn't a home without a gnome.
Take me home.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Giant Foam Finger Maker.
Mr. Giant Foam Finger Maker.
Without you, our teams would be in 6th or 7th place and feel as if they were in 6th or 7th place.
Can you feel it?
Carefully, you craft uncanny representations of actual human hands so that we may wave them annoyingly in the faces of our rivals.
In your face.
They're enormous, yes, yet one size fits all. Brilliant.
Raise them to the sky now.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, Mr. Foam Finger Maker, and know we speak for sports fans everywhere when we say, no, you're number one.
Giant Foam Finger Maker.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Golf Ball Washer Inventor.
Mr. Golf Ball Washer Inventor.
The time-honored game of golf is the sport of kings, and kings don't play with dirty balls.
Don't play dirty.
Because of you, we can give our balls a sudsy tumble at every tee. The result? Clean, shiny balls every time we whack 'em.
Flying high.
Drive after drive, putt after putt, hole after hole. Our dimpled balls stay clubhouse clean.
Keep on driving.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, Mr. Launderer on the links. You are in our thoughts every time we jiggle our balls.
Mr. Golf Ball Washer Inventor.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Hawaiian Shirt Pattern Designer.
Mr. Hawaiian Shirt Pattern Designer.
You provide us with colorful loungewear capable of hiding any stain we can dish out.
Getting sloppy.
Who else could create flowered shirts that are still so unmistakably masculine? A single shirt that matches every pair of pants we own and really sets off a white belt.
Looking good now.
Sure, women say they hate them, but inside they're all swooning for the big kahuna.
Ooh, kahuna.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, Mr. Hawaiian Shirt Pattern Designer. Your shirts may not be made in Hawaii, but Taiwan is an island too.
Mr. Hawaiian Shirt Designer.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Inspirational Poster Writer.
Mr. Inspirational Poster Writer.
Without you, how would we ever know that today, not tomorrow or last Thursday, is the first day of the rest of our lives?
Starting right now.
You ask us to take it one day at a time and remind us turkeys flock, but eagles soar alone.
Soaring high.
Only you could turn a picture of a kitten doing chin-ups into something more than cuddly. You make it inspiring.
Believe in yourself.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, oh poet of the poster. You try very hard to make us try very, very hard.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Jelly Donut Filler.
Mr. Jelly Donut Filler.
Many a night you pondered the question, how can I get some jelly shoved into a plain powdered donut's blowhole?
In the blowhole.
Inspiration and perspiration led you to invent the answer, the Jelly Super Squirter.
Super Squirter.
Late at night, all night, you work your squirter so that we can wake up satisfied and enjoy our breakfast jelly treat.
Work your squirter.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Mr. Jelly Donut Filler. Nobody else takes it to the hole quite the way you do.
Thank you, Mr. Jelly Donut Filler.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Losing Locker Room Reporter.
Mr. Losing Locker Room Reporter.
Wherever a semi-naked man is crying like a schoolgirl because he lost a ball game, you are there. Why did they lose? Because some millionaire dropped the ball. A millionaire who needs a mic stuck in his face on national television.
Oh no.
Go ahead, wear your cashmere blazer to work. No one's going to pour champagne on it where you're going.
They're just losers.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, oh bringer of bad news. You're not a big loser. You just interviewed them.
Don't wanna talk about it.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Major League Infield Raker.
Mr. Major League Infield Raker.
Your precision movements and split-second timing keep America's infield safe for play and covered with cool, swirly designs.
Fully designed.
Millions watch as you weave your standard-issue rake inches from the bag, then skillfully switch to the more advanced woven metal thing on a chain.
Woven metal thing.
Yeah, it has a name, but we wouldn't understand. Why? Because we're not Mr. Major League Infield Raker. So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, oh Duke of Dirt. Because for every kid who wants to be a Major League Slugger, there's another who wants to be a guy with a rake.
Infield Raker.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Male Football Cheerleader.
Mr. Male Football Cheerleader.
Real men don't just play smash-mouth football. Real men turn cartwheels and somersaults on the sidelines, tucked safely away from the action.
Don't touch me now.
Fourth down and inches. The game's on the line. It all comes down to you. Will you call for a perky pyramid or a peppy line dance?
Get on my shoulders.
Knock 'em back, all the way to Hackensack. So grab an ice-cold Bud Light, Mr. Male Football Cheerleader. You may never score a touchdown, but you're peppy. That's gotta count for something.
That's gotta count for something.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Multicolored Sweater Wearer.
Mr. Multicolored Sweater Wearer.
A squiggly, jiggly mishmash of colors we wouldn't be caught dead in. But it sure looks good on you.
Squiggly jiggly.
They say beauty's in the eye of the beholder. We say, whoever beholden that thing, beholden one ugly sweater.
I'll keep holding on.
No, I wasn't dragged down the highway and my insides are showing. I'm wearing my new sweater.
Someone call a doctor.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, Mr. Natty in his knits. It may just be an ugly sweater, but it sure is an ugly sweater.
Mr. Multicolored Sweater Wearer.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Outside the Stadium Peanut Seller.
Mr. Outside the Stadium Peanut Seller.
You stand like a sentry outside the grounds of our national pastime, offering us your salty nuts.
Nice and crunchy.
Half price on the outside, all the taste. That's your pitch.
Nuts for scratch.
There's nothing like spending a summer day on a hard bleacher seat, crunching your nuts.
Crunch, crunch, ow.
Unless maybe it's sitting behind home plate, spreading mustard on your wiener.
Hot and spicy.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Mr. Outside the Stadium Peanut Seller, because thanks to you, a bag of peanuts costs just peanuts.
Mr. Outside the Stadium Peanut Seller.
Bud Light beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real man of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Overzealous Foul Ball Catcher.
Mr. Overzealous foul ball catcher.
You're nowhere close to that foul ball heading for the bleachers. Who cares? You're going for it.
That ball's mine.
Hot dog vendors, old ladies, infants. You mow them over like a diesel-powered combine.
Yeah!
Ashamed of your souvenir fervor? Hardly. You scratch and gouge your way to the ball like a bloodthirsty Wolverine.
You're a feisty rodent.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, Mr. Bully of the Bleachers. Because why pay for a souvenir when you can fight for one?
Mr. Overzealous foul ball catcher.
Bud Light beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Parking Attendant Flashlight Waver,
Mr. Parking Attendant Flashlight Waver.
leaving the security of your 2x2-foot heated hut. You light the way.
Show me the way now.
Defying physics and most insurance policies, you wedge my midsize into the space of a compact.
Back it up. Whoa.
While you act like you couldn't care less about my car, I know deep down inside, you don't.
It's just a car.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, O czar of the parked car. As long as that extra sawbuck translates to easy out, we'll keep pulling her in.
We couldn't park without
Bud Light beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Pickled Pig's Feet Eater.
Mr. Pickle Pig's Feet Eater.
Ignoring all you know about pigs and where they live and what they step in, you look at their pickled paws and say, yummy.
Looking tasty.
Craving only the most daring meal, you pass up the cow tongue, skate by the head cheese, dismiss the Rocky Mountain oysters.
Rocky Mountain oysters.
But a pig's foot soaked in pickle juice, now that's good eating.
Say real big one.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, Mr. Pickled Pig's Feet Eater, because it takes guts to eat those feet.
Thank you, Mr. Pickle Pig's Feet Eater.
Bud Light beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Pit Crew Water Bottle Squirter.
Mr. Pit Crew Water Bottle Squirter.
In a world of RPMs and MPGs, you're all about H2O.
H2O.
Sure, anyone can take a car apart and put it back together again. But not just anyone can squirt water.
You've got it in you.
Reach, squeeze, precision timing. 1 inch off, and you've got a soggy driver and a potential squeegee situation.
Watch out, that's water.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, Mr. Pit Crew Water Bottle Squirter, because as far as we're concerned, you're not just in the pits. You are the pits.
Mr. Pit Crew Water Bottle Squirter.
Bud Light beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Pro Wrestling Wardrobe Designer.
Mr. Pro Wrestling Wardrobe Designer.
While lesser designers would shy away from putting 300-pound men in spandex, you embrace it.
Yes, you do.
Pushing fashion to its limits, literally, you pair tights with a cape, a leotard with a mask, leather boots with a thong.
Oh, looking good.
All understated ways of saying, I'm going to rip your head off and look fabulous doing it. So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Mr. Pro Wrestling Wardrobe Guy, because without you, a man crushing another man's head in his arms would just look silly.
Mr. Pro Wrestling Wardrobe Designer.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Professional Movie Extra Guy.
Mr. Professional Movie Extra Guy.
Never in the history of cinema have so many done so little for so many.
You're a star.
Anybody can pay $8 to see a movie, but only a true artist can be paid $8 to be in a movie.
Shiny, shiny star.
Snotty lead actors need lines, direction, motivation. Not you. You sit on your butt perfectly in scene after scene.
That's Hollywood.
A true pro, you're always focused, even if you're seldom in focus. So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Mr. Nobody, because you're not just anybody, you're a paid anybody.
I don't recognize
Bud
you.
Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Putt-Putt Golf Course Designer.
Mr. Putt-Putt Golf Course Designer.
Through the magic of AstroTurf and animatronics, you've taken the time-honored game of golf and made it fun again.
Keep on stroking.
They said a 3-foot putt wasn't a challenge, so you added windmills.
Shiny windmills.
While lesser men wasted time with fairways and sand traps, you had visions of fiberglass volcanoes and giant clown heads.
Clowns freak me out now.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, Mr. Putt-Putt Golf Course Designer, because you and I know that a round of golf should always include Indian teepees.
Mr. Putt-Putt Golf Course Designer.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Really Bad Toupee Wearer.
Mr. Really Bad Toupee Wearer.
More than any neon sign or exploding scoreboard ever could, your chrome dome cover says, "Hey guys, look at me."
What could you be thinking?
You think it looks natural, but it couldn't look phonier if it had a chin strap.
I couldn't fool a blind man.
Made of space-age fibers, it can repel anything. Rain, wind, snow, and especially young women.
I don't think so.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, Mr. Stud in a Rug. Then crack open another for that thing on your head.
I don't think it's on straight.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Supermarket Deli Meat Slicer.
Mr. Supermarket Deli Meat Slicer.
To feed America's hunger, you stand dangerously close to a buzzsaw, armed only with a salami.
Just you and your salami.
Behind your glass fortress, you quickly fill orders as shoppers shout, "Hey, I was first."
Take a number, please.
And no matter what you're slicing, from bologna to liverwurst, you always hit your mark. 1/10 of an ounce over.
Just the way I like it.
So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, oh master slicer. And remember, when someone asks who cut the cheese, you can proudly say, "It was me."
Mr. Supermarket Deli Meat Slicer.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Underwear Inspector number 12.
Mr. Underwear Inspector number 12.
Whether it be tidy whities or banana hammocks, you're the one who makes sure our skivvies cut the mustard.
Riding high.
You make sure the door is fastened with secure seams so that the cow doesn't get out of the barn when it shouldn't.
Don't let it out.
Dedicating yourself to a craft others might poo-poo. You can pass every single man on the street and say with pride, "You there, you're wearing my underpants." And no, I don't want them back. So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Eagle Eyes, because we're all glad you've got your hands in our shorts.
Change 'em every day.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real man of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Way Too Much Cologne Wearer.
Mr. Way Too Much Cologne wearer.
Like a bullhorn, your cologne announces your every arrival 4 blocks before you get there.
Here he comes now.
Here a splish, there a splash, everywhere a splish splash. You don't stop till every square inch of manhood is covered.
Everywhere a splish splash.
Overslept and haven't got time to shower? Not to worry. You've got 4 gallons of cologne and a plan.
Pour it on.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Mr. Way Too Much Cologne Wearer, because we think we smell a winner.
Mr. Way Too Much Cologne wearer.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real American Heroes.
Real American heroes.
Today we salute you, Mr. Wrecking Ball Operator.
Mr. Wrecking Ball operator.
You do what lesser men can only dream about. You smash great big things into little bitty pieces.
Totally awesome.
42 stories of brick, mortar, and iron? No problem. You'll have it down by lunch.
Bring it all down.
Some might say your job is easy, but never to your face. Why? 'Cause you'll come up swinging a 2,000-pound ball. So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, Wrecking Man, because anybody can build a building, but it takes a man with one giant ball to bring it down.
Mr. Wrecking Ball operator.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
This album was brought to you by TV Tunes in conjunction with the advertising community and jingle writers and performers everywhere.